and Dave.
Conversation, crack,
And the music you love.
Today FM.
It all happens here.
Today FM.
Our next guest shot to worldwide fame back in 2014 when he released the huge hit Take Me to Church. Since then, it's fair to say he hasn't done too bad for himself. He recently released his latest EP called Eat Your Young, and we are delighted to say that Andrew Hozier Byrne is here in studio now to chat all about it. Hozier, thanks for coming into us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Good to have you here with new music.
Yes. Yeah. I've just had the EP out there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we should say congratulations on eating your young.
Thank you. They were delicious. Absolutely.
What a Paddy's Day you had, right? Paddy's Day, which pretty much everyone knows is your birthday.
Yes.
And then you decided to release an EP for the first time in a long time. So it was a whole explosion of Hozier on Paddy's Day.
I just can't get, I can't get enough of me, you know, so just throwing it down your throats there. No, but it was good fun.
And what did a Paddy's Day birthday look like this year?
It was a busy one because releasing music it's a busy day. So I think it was a few hours of interviews.
Where were you?
I was in New York. I was in New York.
Okay.
So I didn't quite get to the parade, but we did about 7 hours of, you know what I mean, of sort of doing the promo type thing. But then I did a little pop-up. There's a little pub called Paddy Riley's in Midtown.
Yeah.
And we kind of popped in there and sang a couple songs just for the crack.
Amazing.
And then ended up at the Dead Rabbit. There's a pub called the Dead Rabbit, an Irish bar in near the financial district sort of side of things. And it's a great spot for a pint, I have to say. So we celebrated with some of the band and the label there.
How are you with alcohol and performing? Because I know a lot of, certainly when I was starting out in comedy, that was definitely one of my crutches. When I was about to get up on stage, you try and find the sweet spot, you know.
Yeah.
But then, of course, over time, you realise you don't need it and it's actually putting you off. So what's your approach? What has it been over the years?
I think I learned young that I'm not good with alcohol and performing. I actually forget how to play everything. So it doesn't. I've avoided it after a show. Depends, you know, if we have a day off the next day, I'll enjoy a drink. But it's more that I'll be on stage, and if my set could be full of mistakes. I'll forget a lyric, or I'll fluff a chord, or forget whatever it is, and that's fine. That happens. But it's if I've had a drink, I'll kick myself, going, it's because I had that drink.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it becomes a bigger thing then.
Yeah.
And actually, about that, I've often wondered, having spoken to many bands over the years, but like you would set your band up around you. It could be the same Hozier band that's been forever, or you could have new musicians coming in, new vocalists, whatever it would be. People will make mistakes, right? Everybody makes mistakes. Whether you're the best bass player in the world, the worst drummer in the world, whatever, you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Do you guys have debriefs? Like, do you need to sit down sometimes and go, you know, there's a section in the song that isn't working the way I want to work, or is it literally, Jeff, you're wrecking it every night?
Yeah, no, it's the latter there. I stand on stage and I say 50 quid.
Yeah. The old James Brown approach.
There are some artists that do.
Yeah. No, I think unless there's something really, if there's something that really went wrong, it's kind of going, okay, well, how can we avoid that in the future? You know what I mean? But the guys I play with are such pros, you know, they really are. They're really on top of it. And so I'm glad to say, like, at the moment, I'm having to catch up to get to their level, which is fantastic. And part of that is the rehearsal period. I'm sort of being pulled left, right and centre to do a music video or do something else. And so I'm relearning how to play the stuff
that you wrote.
That I wrote. But no, they are great. Like, it's more, if there is something, it's, okay, can we address that? Or it's very rare, would you have to say to somebody, hey, look, you're let the side down there.
See, Dermot, in our band, we have a band called Dynamics.
Yeah.
The next.
Yeah.
Because there are no dynamics, everything's at 11 all the time. It's an ironic band name. But we constantly stop and shout at each other, and we shouldn't. We should just let the music flow. I think we could learn something from this.
Well, the day one of us learns to play our instrument properly, I think that will probably break up the band, actually.
Yeah. But I've never done that. Never learned.
Congratulations in advance of the album, because I know it's, you know, you just haven't birthed it yet, but it's there. I heard mention that you possibly have 17 or 18 tracks on it, and that's got to be a sign that your songwriting is in a really good place, that you're that confident with that many songs, and you obviously feel in the flow.
Yeah, I was, you know, I suppose I had a bit of time, so there's kind of I had a bit of time over the pandemic. Some of the songs that I started writing then, and then I got to LA and had a really like fruitful period of making work. So I'm happy with the songs. I think by the time the album's out, people will have heard like a couple of songs off this EP. That we might release one or two just for people to have a listen to before the album. So it's making sure that there's an extra 12 or 13 songs that people haven't heard, but by the time the album's in.
We spoke to Edge recently on the show, and he is just, I guess with most members of U2, when you talk to them, and I'm sure you have many times, just you get struck by just how grounded they are. And I get the same thing from you. You just have this lovely grounded sense of you. And it's not easy considering what you've experienced over the last 10 years, and how quickly you've shot to fame. Yeah. We all have certain things that we do to keep us grounded. Dave goes to retail parks. I go and lie on a dolmen that's near my house.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
You really are.
What is your go-to when you feel like maybe the fizz of celebrity and busyness is getting in the way?
I was going to make a joke. I find it hard not to take the mick. It's like...
Please take the mick.
Yeah, please do.
You're in good company.
Well, it's smoke and mirrors. I limit my caviar intake to...
Here's the gluttony coming out now.
I think also the dolmen's a great idea. You kind of stay grounded in electrical...
yeah, like a big chunk of rock. There's nothing like it.
But I don't know. I think it actually helps being from Ireland. I think Irish people have a real strong nose for bullshit. But also, there's nothing having sort of crossed into, and like we had a massive sort of crossover hit like 10 years ago with Take Me to Church, which became this enormous sort of pop hit. And you enter into circles of people who are really invested into the idea of being quote unquote famous. And I think when you get a sense of that and you see people who are deeply invested in that notion of themselves, you don't meet a lot of very happy people either. You know what I mean? I think that the happy people you meet are people who are usually grounded, have good relationships with people around them. And
I think you put your finger on it with the Irishness as well. There's an element of cultural grounding to us all.
I find sometimes though with Irish acts, our personalities are, talented artists, whatever it happens to be, who have genuinely done incredible things globally, that sometimes when they come back, I'm not saying this is you, but they sort of underplay their success to such an extent that it goes the other way, and they're sort of like, sure, I my pants are made out of sackcloth, and I got the bus here, and
pennies on.
Yes, and it's like, it's okay. You could be proud of your success and the wonderful, abundance that has brought you, and it's okay.
Yeah, there is a little sort of little old me. There is that sort of I think there is. I think there is a worry of kind of poking your head too high above the flowers, maybe. But I mean, I can't really like everybody knows me as well too. So it's just like you can't really, and I stick out like a real swollen palm,
it's all the caviar just dripping from you. People are just
like walking down Grafton Street, like licking caviar off my
There he goes. Yeah.
Did you see the Dave Letterman thing he did with U2? Would that ever tempt you? The other projects you could do? I just like the idea that you can present your music and your home country in a different way.
Yeah, totally. I've seen bits of it, and I know Ye Vagabonds, and I know that there was some wonderful Irish artists invited in to take part in that, and it's a lovely way of doing it.
Well, look, if you do fancy a similar project with Dave Letterman, Dynamics, our band, are ready to be your guest.
Your improved Dynamics. That's the title.
Yeah, and we would just ask, if you're going to use our band name, you must form an X across your face with your arms.
Yes,
okay.
So, in all our promo photos, no one can even see who we are.
It was a terrible idea and ruined our publicity.
Hozier, congratulations on Eat Your Young. We can't wait to hear the album. Thanks for coming in and chatting to us.
Thank you.
Dermot and Dave.
Weekdays from 9 a.m.